So, I've never seen this person's channel before. I've never watched a video from them. This is Sufferance, and they put out a video about this new manga called, well, not new. It's actually it's definitely not new. It's been going for a little while. It's on Shonen Jump. I did pull up like just a random chapter. Here, I'll literally like pull up which one it was. Chapter 34.1. I just wanted to look at what the art looked like, basically. Looked good. Thought it was interesting. Now, this one is about the power system. It's not really a synopsis about like the story itself, more about like the powers we all love. I'm very interested in this. We're gonna see what this is all about. Definitely go check them out. I actually haven't checked out more of their videos. If we like this, maybe we'll look at more and see what else they got. We're cooking up for us. But anyways, let's get into this, gamers. Let's get into this, gamers.
So we all like powers. When a
We
power
do.
system is used incredibly well within a story, it just makes everything so much better. So I want to show you some of my favorite new ones. There are three main things that I look for within power systems.
Oh, it's more than
First
one?
is
Okay. Because what I saw like a Choujin. Granted, I did just kind of do like the whole, I do what I usually do when I like kind of scroll through stuff very quickly. I don't actually, not actually trying to pre-watch it or anything. I just want to make sure that it's all, that you get an idea. But I guess it's more than that. Okay.
What, is it something that I've seen before, an evolution of it, or is it something I've never seen before and very much
So we're getting a few.
original? The
We're getting a
second
few.
is utilization. How is this power used within the story? How is
Okay.
it connected between characters? How does it scale off one another? Is it integral? Is it intertwined with emotions or a mental state, or can it scale incredibly high? And the third, evolution. How does this
How they
power
grow?
change over time?
Yeah.
What does a power look like from
All right, so
chapter
I like
one
the
to
criteria. So he has what? So he has uniqueness. He has the evolution, and what was the second one? Hold up. Utilization. There we go. Uniqueness, utilization, and evolution. Okay. I think that's actually a very good way to look at power systems, because it's not just an idea of like, oh, this person's stronger than this person, like power scaling defines a power system type of thing. It's how well they do get flushed out, what you really explain to them, how they're intertwined with like a character's personality, their mental state, and everything. Like take something like Nen, for example. I brought that up a second ago. I mean, one of the most flushed out power systems in anime, period. It is completely intertwined with a person's innate talents, I guess you could say. Like, everyone is born with a type of nen, but what you can do with that nen is kind of up to your interpretation, and so individualistic. That's why you have like Hisoka has like the gum one, or well, Bungie has the Bungie gum. One with has the utilization and evolution a lot is something like hockey and One Piece, I would say, because the way hockey works is it's very intertwined with your mental state and where you are in that perspective. For example, if you are not concentrating, you are actually not going to be able to use like future sight and stuff like that. It's going to be very hard. So yeah, I like his criteria. Long story short.
How does this power change over time? What does a power look like from chapter 1 to the end of the story? Let me show you some of the best new ones.
I turned it up
like.
a little bit.
Choujin X is a phenomenal story.
My man's
Silly.
here has I might turn up even a little more. Man has like a very fucking monotone voice. Hey, don't get me wrong, I have the same thing here, but like, damn, his is a lot deeper than mine. That's for sure too.
Ishida, the author of Tokyo Ghoul. I love
Yep.
Tokyo Ghoul's power system. I think it's very unique.
I think it's alright.
Take of an evolutionary process to something like vampires. Choujin X is different though. When the title of this story wasn't
see, I like Tokyo Ghoul. I think it's a very interesting story. I like the characters. In terms of the power system, a lot. I mean, I'll be real with you. So many of them look like so similar. You know what I mean? Like, so many of their actual abilities just kind of looked very similar to each other. A lot of people had like just basically tails. A lot of people just had pretty much tails. That was about it. There were some that definitely had like very unique abilities and stuff like that outside of just like being able to have that like tail thing behind them, but more or less, I mean, yeah, yeah. Like Kaneki, for example, had like overpowered regeneration pretty much. He was also very strong, but his regeneration made him practically like immortal.
Officially released,
I would say
we
they're
knew
all.
it.
I would say, oh my god, Full Metal Alchemist power system. I forgot about that. Alchemy, dude. I love the power system in Full Metal Alchemist. The way alchemy works and the way like, again, very individualistic, and like use your abilities more efficiently in order to like act and get like that's how like people get boosted. Huh.
English as Superhuman X. And for the most part, it still kind of technically means that. But we know it officially and collectively as Choujin X. Choujin kind of translates to superhuman or Superman. This is very important because the story itself and these characters is very much superpowers.
I like the art. I like
However,
the characters.
it does have that unique Sue Ishida flair.
I mean,
there are beings
like
in Choujin X's story called Choujin. These are our superpowered beings. And there's a
dude, that looks crazy. Dude, that is crazy. Is he taking off his face? Or a mask, it looks like. I don't know. What? Dude, alright. These two look sick. This one, it's alright. But this, with the horns coming out of the eyes, dude, that is haunting. That is
couple of
straight
different
up
ways
demonic.
that you can become a Choujin. You can be naturally born, you can be awakened through death, or you can be experimented on. In a lot of ways, Choujin are identical to human, but biologically wise, they are kind of the next step. Brief scientific explanation of how Choujin powers work is that there is a god particle known as a supercell within the world, and Choujin are the only beings able to wield and manipulate it. This gives a more scientific and
they got
biological
the god particles
for the Choujin powers, but it's
I'm pretty sure there is like the talk of a god particle in actual science. One's like a god element, something like that. Yeah, the God particle is a common name for the Higgs boson, a subatomic particle that plays a crucial role in the standard model of particle physics. So yeah, that is an actual thing in our world. So they're able to manipulate that particle or those particles.
Main concern. The powers are cool
interesting.
and flashy, and they are emotionally and mentally driven. This is our main character. His name is Tokyo. And what you should know about him is that he's a little bit shy, a little bit of a loner, a little bit of a loser, a little bit of a downer. What do you think his power would be? Naturally, you would not be able to guess it because still to this point in the story, we don't actually know. We see his powers often.
Interesting.
It resembles a vulture. So he can grow wings and become very powerful and strong and transform into this creature. But then there's more to it. A next step. A almost godlike being. Choujin also have an interesting way to evolve, a thing called raising or a chaos state. The first, raise, is kind of exactly how it sounds. Every time you get critically injured or you face death or even if you die, you can
like
raise from it, which is enhancing your power to come back from death or deadly injuries. But the more you do that, the more drastic the injuries, the closer you get to going into a chaos state. And that is exactly how it sounds. A state of being that is completely out of control.
Rage mode,
linked together. Every Choujin has a chaos state. Every Choujin can go through chaosification. If they reach a limit that is far too gone, they cannot come back from it. And they will either be stuck within the chaos state, forever spiraling out of control, or they will die themselves. This is a simplification of Choujin X's powers, but I love how Ishida has approached.
Wait. So let me see if I get this right. Is there an organization that's able that basically hunts these guys?
I love the complexity when it comes to the emotions and the mental state. It gives very big Tokyo Ghoul, Kagane, full Kagaja, half Kagaja vibes. And honestly, he's mastered it. Artistically, it is gorgeous. And there's so much room to breathe and play and just the extra bit of details to give him
I like that. I like the
science
art
behind it or the
I keep
biology
saying it, but
behind
it's really good.
Really fascinating. If you haven't read Choujin X, that has a very in-depth creative power system. This story is 100% for you. This is a little old story called MAD.
Hold up. I just want to see how many chapters are there real quick. because I still have it pulled up. There's 64 chapters. You know what that means? That's a evening read right there. I'll come back with you guys tomorrow, and I will tell you whether I have enjoyed my read or not. We'll see. I'll start it. At the very least, I'll start it tonight.
It is relatively new. A lot of you probably don't know about it, but it takes a lot of inspiration from a very small, minuscule story called Attack on Titan. Mad is a alien invasion story. Humanity is basically in the dirt. Aliens have overrun the planet. So the remnants of people are just trying to survive.
I smell you pissing yourself and shitting your pants. You cannot hide from me, human. You cannot hide.
Gross, disgusting, grim.
Oh, I do like that.
Have powers. Humans cannot fight against these aliens successfully. They're like ants. You kill one, and a billion of them start to spawn out. They're horrifying creatures until a small group of people start to experiment, and a question goes through their mind: what would happen if you fed this alien meat to a human? The result is terrifying. 95% of humans will go through a process that is disgusting. They will start to transform into these hideous abominations. All of their hair will fall off, their skin will molt and disfigure, and their body will die. However, the people that are lucky...
Man got the test results. You have testicular cancer. You're losing your hair. Your gout is progressing to your left foot and your right foot. And on top of that, you ugly as shit. No!
Enough to survive become something else. They become hybrids, what is actually called adapters within the story. These are half human, half alien hybrids, humans that have survived the transformation process. And what this gives them is the unique ability to adapt to the new world. They now have a full transformation process, similar to Titans from AOT, where they can instantly, whenever they want, transform into this humanoid, alien, full-armored creature. Now, all the designs are very different. Some even have special quirks or abilities that are more specific to them.
Talk about it.
It hasn't been explicitly explained, but the transformation process kind of based on the individual, their will to survive, and the mental state during that process by eliminating certain factors.
So your abilities are awakened due to a near-death experience, and based upon like who you are as an individual and what you express in those moments, that's kind of like what your armor is tailored around and what your power can be tailored around. Okay. And does not everyone get one? Because you said only certain individuals get like powers. They all look very unique, but he said only certain ones have certain quirks.
We've come to assume that depending on the mental state of the individual prior and during, that will be the result of the type of hybrid or adapter you would become. The main character in this story is very different to others. He didn't know he would be experimented on, but for the fate of humanity and this false ideology to become the next evolution of human, he was forced to go through this process. The creature that he becomes is a lot stronger, a lot more deadlier, a lot more out of control, a lot more scarier. He's a different shape, he's a different size, he's a different breed altogether. Here's a problem. These forms supply strength, speed, and agility.
Interesting that he's not showing any manga panels, I will say. This one we're seeing like, I don't know. Is that like the actual manga?
Regeneration like no other. Not only against human combatants, cannibals, etc., people trying to survive, but also other hybrids or adapters and those aliens. And in more of the recent stuff, we're seeing partial transformation. Arms, legs, spines, a tail, etc. MAD might not be the most unique thing.
Yeah, we're seeing this, but like, we're not seeing like what any of these creatures look like. So that's the thing. I really like the video. Don't get me wrong. I really like the video. I think he's explaining these very well. It's actually making them sound very interesting. I just want to see what he's talking about to a degree. Like with the Choujin, he showed us what they look like. You know, or what like the variations might look like or something like that. Like here on these ones, we were showing in the very beginning we were showing a couple of images, but like it was literally the same image just from 3 images that were all the same. of the same character. So like there's no like differentiation. I just want to see like what another one looks like, basically.
To exist, but I love
But I guess I
the
gotta read it to go
resemblance
figure
it
it
has
out,
to
huh?
Attack on Titan.
He
I
got
love what
me.
it's
He
trying
got
to
me.
do. I think it's incredibly interesting, and seeing two adapters fight sparks that
I like how it's
exact
all
same
Dark Soul
feeling I
actually,
had
no,
seeing
Elden-
two Titans fight
Elden Ring
in
references,
AOT.
yeah,
It is a
Melania.
glorious, horrendous thing to bear witness to. If any of this sounds interesting and you haven't read Mad, I'd highly recommend checking it out. It's a very, very good story that has a lot of potential to be absolutely huge. Lastly, and one of the more fascinating ones for me, because I don't really like kind of typical magic, Ichi the Witch. Now let me clarify.
Hey, dude, I love Ichi the Witch. Nah, don't even cap. Ichi the Witch is phenomenal. Ichi the Witch is phenomenal. Like in terms of magic power systems and all that, it is so unique. It is so unique. It's not just the idea that everyone gets powers, everyone's born with powers. Nope. Only women are able to have powers, and not every woman is able to have magic powers. So there are only a certain amount of actual mages out there and people that are able to be mages. The person that we do follow, Ichi, he is a guy, surprise, surprise, and he is the only guy that is able to actually like use magic. He ends up learning that I don't want to spoil too much. He ends up learning that there's a reason why he's basically the only male. He meets he gets some friends. He gets a mentor, Dakaris. She's literally like the Gojo of their world, where she can like beat just about any magic. Absolutely love his character. I'm not going to spoil that at all. I think that's probably one of the better parts of the story right now that we're reading about. So I'm definitely not going to spoil it. But yeah, I recommend it. He's recommending it. If you haven't already, go read Ichi the Witch. That's all you need to know, because it is phenomenal. It is great.
Say I
love
like
the characters
magic. It's
too.
not that I hate it. It's not that I despise it. I never.
It's just
want
very
to see
basic.
It. I just think it's so overused.
Yeah.
Every story that has witches and magic and mages, etc., it's
all
kind
very
of like
basic.
the same thing, just in.
That's another reason why I like Witch Watch, where the magic is probably it's gag. It's part of the gag. It's part of the jokes usually, and I find that whimsical and fun, but it is just a generic magic system and generic magic in that respect. There's differences, there's nuances, or magic isn't the actual main focus of it. Like for example with Witch Watch.
Different colors. That's not a bad
think the
thing.
relationship
Serves a
is more
purpose.
focused.
Every story does
It's
it
more
its
the
own
focus.
way. Differences here and there, but collectively, it's still like a magical system. I'm completely fine with it.
Yeah.
Ichi the Witch caught me by surprise, because not only does it embody that typical magical system, it takes it to a different level.
It does. I mean, it embodies the magic system in the sense that, like, well, it depends. It depends what you consider like magic. Like you say you say an enchantment and you cast a spell. Yeah, that's literally the foundation of what magic is. So like if you're saying like that's what you're tired of, well then you're just tired of magic in general. Like you're not just. Well, and you said that. Like I think it's when these nuances are very unique and very interactive with the story. That's what makes something like Ichi the Witch very unique and interesting.
It adds something very interesting. Arguably the most compelling system
I've
seen in a weekly.
This is our boy. Okay, fine. Now that we've seen him, I'll say this is our boy. I love this guy up here. His character, like this arc right here, actually really fucking good. Really fucking good.
The most compelling system that I've seen in a weekly jump story for a long time. And I think
I agree.
Adds so much depth, variety, and complexity for as long as this story wants to exist. There's some things you need to know about Ichi's power system. Firstly, males do not have magic.
Except our boy.
Women. So far, we don't have a reason or an explanation of why.
And not only that, not every woman is able to use magic, because we've seen now. Okay, we have seen various women in this world and everything that either that do not use magic or are not related with the mages at all, so obviously they wouldn't use magic, but also girls that are associated with the witches and they don't use magic really. So like I don't know.
possible, but I imagine in the future we might explore that a little bit more. Ichi,
We do.
however, is our first male witch. He's not naturally born, but he comes
There's a
in
reason
contact
for
with
it.
a being that
Yep.
he kind of acquires or merges with. This allows him to use magic abilities. Now, the magical beings or creatures within this world are genuinely called magics. And the reason they're called this is because each magic is sentient. They have a personality, an opinion. They are living, breathing beings. So whatever magic
They
that
have their own goals, they have their own ideals, they have their own opinions. Like, there are some that want to harm people, there are some that literally want to leave people alone. Like, they are just different.
you can think
And
of,
I think that's
fire,
very unique.
earth, water, or getting more conceptual, fear of certain things, they are going to have their own personality and identity. So how do you think you would acquire said magic? You just defeat them, right? Slash them, kill them, capture them.
Well, yeah, normally,
whatever.
yeah,
It
but
is
not in this
that
manga.
simple, and for a very good reason. Because all of these magic can have unique personalities, the way you actually acquire them, defeat them, is sometimes not even by fighting, but it's
Like the mushroom one I just explained or I just referenced, that one was one that he had to, like, basically it was like a catch me if you can type of trial. You have to complete that. If you catch him within an allotted time, you win the trial and you get to claim him. If you don't, you lose. So it's like, it really just depends on the individual magic's personality.
It's by a trial that
and
the
kind of
magic
their magic
itself
too.
sets. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you wanted to acquire me. The way you would do it in Ichi the Witch is that I would have a very detailed trial that you would have to figure out. Now, I wouldn't tell you because I don't want to be acquired, but there is ways to squeeze it out of them by fighting, by capturing, by having other magical abilities that can force it out. If you know what the trial is, you can try and undergo it. So my trial could be very simple. I need you to slap me in my face with your right hand. That's it. That's all the trial could be. Or it could be...
But there are usually catches within it. Like, you have to slap me with your right hand. But the power that he wields is teleportation. So the moment that you get close to him, or it could be something like time stoppage. Like, the moment you get close to him, he can just stop time and then walk away from you and then you can't slap him. That is the aspect of it, is that they have their own magic they can use, and they all are in some way, shape, and form related to their powers. The trials are related in both the personalities and the powers. And that was it. He was like, yep, okay, well, you passed my trial, I guess, so now I'm yours, and you're now a witch.
It's very, very complex. I need you to make me the happiest person to ever exist. This is the unique mechanic of Ichi the Witch, and it is so incredibly fun to engage with because every single fight is so different. You get the fight, very powerful beings, but now you're getting something that's crafty, interesting, and very personal. It breathes a whole new life to the magic. Out of all the most recent stuff that I've read, I think Ichi has the most...
And I think Ichi's personality is very fun. Like, I think this dynamic is very fun. You have the nonchalant, like, feral kid. Like, he literally grew up in the mountains and everything. He doesn't understand social interactions. He's kind of just, like, weird and awkward. He's got a touch of the tism. Then you got the overbearing big sister / mother figure that's like, hey, listen, I'm going to look out for you. Make sure that you can you get trained properly and you know what to do and everything. But I'm also going to rein in your wild side. And then their helper. She's like their friend. She's like one of those support witch girls I said that can't use magic, but she helps out. At least I don't think she used magic. I might be wrong. But anyways, she hangs out with them. They're all friends. They're a little group. And I think they're getting a new person just saying
to go absolutely crazy. They've already teased conceptual beings, and I don't even want to think about what type of trial that would be. Imagine trying to acquire something like gravity or human emotions, fear of darkness or something.
Well, I haven't conquered them, but they've explained them. Like they have said that those ones exist.
Power systems that has so much room to grow. Ichi the Witch is calling your name.
Read
now,
it.
I can sit
agree.
here and talk about so many more stories. Gachi Yakuza, for example. I love that.
A lot of people are
power
talking
system.
about that
I think
one.
it's incredible.
That one's
and has
coming out.
Just as much variety as
We might
Ichi
do a bit of a
and
dive
everything.
into this one, but what is it? I kind of want to go. Every now and again, there are like animes that I like to go into completely blind. I mean, I like to go into a lot of animes relatively completely blind. But like in terms of when it comes to like a really, really hype anime like this, like I try to go in relatively with no understanding as to what's going on or the story. Like I come in with it as fresh as I can. I did this with Dan to Dan, where I had not read any of the manga. I tried to stay as spoiler free for what happens in it, the power system, the characters, all that stuff. And when I was watching it, I was so enthralled. I loved it so much. And once I finished the season, I went right to the manga and just continued on from there. And now I'm all caught up.
Else here, it is superb. Kagurabachi, a really fresh
A lot of people
take on
I actually
sword
started.
powers, which is
I did start reading this one. It didn't really pique my interest. I'll be real with you.
incredibly difficult to do well, and somehow it does it wonderfully. Even Galaxius is super fun.
I haven't heard of this one.
Dragon-human hybrids and dragon powers within this super adventurous world. It's a very high-tiered, high-scaled
What the heck?
power.
That looks
Simply,
sick.
there is too many new stories with really powerful, prominent power systems. Now, obviously, I can't mention them all. I've missed some very vital ones, so please, if you have any power systems that you've been vibing with, that you absolutely love and adore, I would really love to hear it.
I like Wild Strawberry's power system. I will say though, it is very much like Kaiju number 8's, but not as good in my opinion. They take the enemies, like the things that they kill, and they put them into their blades, and they basically merge with them, and they slowly over time start to take over their bodies, and eventually they become completely mindless. It's actually just about to end soon, that one. So like I honestly think it wouldn't. It's one of those that I honestly don't think it's ever gonna get an actual anime, but just because it's so short and it is so much like Kaiju number 8 that I feel like it just won't. But it's an interesting read. It's nothing too crazy though. But hey, that's gonna be it for that. We gotta move on. Definitely check out our boy Sufferance. Yeah, okay. There we go. It took me a minute. My tiny brain got there. Worst Chainsaw Man choice ever. So it looks like he does some Chainsaw Man content too. Interesting. Okay. Either way, that's gonna be that. We'll get into that. We'll get into more stuff. More of his stuff at some other point. Hey, what is up? You are an absolute legend if you made it this far in the video. I really appreciate it, and if you could just do me one more quick favor, hit that like and subscribe button down below. It really helps me out. I stream on Twitch Wednesdays to Saturdays, starting around 12 p.m. EST. And yeah, there's plenty of crazy unhinged madness that goes on over there too. So I hope to see you there, and I'll catch you in the next video.